Hello and welcome again in a new video in Ruqa'a script. We will pick up where we stopped last time, letter Kaf. So last time we've reached to Fa and Qaf. After those two letters we have Kaf, Lam, Meem and Noon. So Kaf is basically an Alif connected to a Ba, then we do this line, then we do a Dal. Then we are going to learn the Kaf at the beginning of a word. After that, in a word, like mid-word. Finally, we're going to talk about the Kaf at the end, which has those two shapes. Also, we are going to see Kaf for a special case when it comes with an Alif. Now, after that, we are going to talk about the letter Lam. It's basically an Alif with a Noon. In a word, we saw it before, it's basically an Alif, or at the beginning of a word, where it comes like an Alif but it connects. Then we are, at the end of a word, we're going to see the difference between the Kaf and the Lam, those two. Then we are going to talk about the Meem, and how we connect it, and how it comes beginning, mid, or end of a word. Finally, we are going to talk about the Noon. We did talk about this shape, but we have two other shapes to discuss. So, shall we start? Let's take the Kaf. Now, as we said, Kaf needs to consists of Alif and a Ba. So, when we do a Kaf, the scale, of course, would be 3 points high for the Alif, then the Ba. Now here we have a new move, which is going right top like this. Then we do a Dal, just like this. Keep in mind that these should have a gap between them. And the Kaf is big because it contains a Dal inside it. Don't be shy to make it this big. So this is the Kaf by itself. This inside move is basically the Hamza, but it looks like this in Ruqa'a. The other shape is the normal one. So we do this, then we just add a Hamza. To do a Hamza, you simply go down, then right, then down. It's the easiest out of all scripts to write Hamza in Ruqa'a. After this, we are going to see the Kaf at the start of a word. Now, again, it's very easy to write this letter. You start with the Alif move, then this is the continue, and here we have the head, the cap, let's say. Keep in mind that this should be the same angle as this, they should be parallel. And the sharp edges here, for example, Kalima, Kaf, Lam, then we come back for this. This has to be very shallow, like this, very sharp. Then we can continue with the Meem and the Ta Marbuta. So if we were to have a look at this, it would be the same move as the Dal, I reckon. I think we talked about it before. So if you had the Alif or the Lam going down like this, this has to start with the same angle and goes up, just like this. We don't start from here because it would look ugly. So for example, if this was the first move, if you started it this way, you see what happened here? This is wrong. It has to be double thicknesses, not just one. This is the Kaf at the beginning. Of course, if it was followed by a Lam, we talk about it in a bit, like it has a special case when it's followed by a Alif, Lam or a Kaf, but here I just wanted to show you a general shape of the kaf at the beginning. Let's see how it looks like in the middle. Let's write al-kam, alif, lam. We go up and we do the move here. It's fine if it was disconnected. Now when you connect it to the left, you start from the middle of a kaf. Al-kam, the amount. You don't start from here. Also, if you had 3 lambs, for example, this is how they connect. So you sort of drop this part down. But of course these are lambs, not a calf. This could be a calf. But the thing that we need to focus on is how they connect afterward. So al-kuhl or kuhl. See how the ha connects. Then the lam comes here. Or al-kamal. That's right, al-kamal. So this is alif, lam, kaf, meem, alif, lam, al-kamal. The same thing goes, for example, al-kasr, alif, lam, kaf, connection, tanasin. So we always connect from the midpoint of the kaf. What if the kaf was followed by a high letter, for example, alif, lam, kaf? So al-kull or kull, we do this rotation, then we continue with a normal move. So this would be kull, and we add the hat here. This is the kaf here. Kalam, it has to look like this. It's a rule. Again, this move is basically rotating the pen around, and it is 2 points by 2 points. 2 by 1.5, this width. If it was a bit confusing for you, you could try a dal, then close it. But it's easy, it's not that hard. The cap shape, this hat, has several shapes. You could find it disconnected like this, or sometimes you will find it connected like this, or like this. So you will find it written several shapes. So this is calf. It's different from the bar one. The bar was really big down here. So this could be camel. At the end of a word, calf is very simple. You stop, you go up, then you leave a gap here, then you do the ba. You can't see it. It's the same line. Then we do the sikek, which means railways. Sin, kaf, and kaf. You see what we did here? This is how you connect it. Al-kalam is the same thing. Alif, lam. Here we have a kaf and a lam. Kaf, lam. And we can add the kaf here. So as we saw the kaf at the end of a word. Now, what's the difference between kaf and lam? So for a start, they both look the same. This is kaf and this is lam. In the middle, they also look the same. This is مثلا al-kam, and this is a loam, let's say, alif, lam, lam, waw, and meme. So they look the same, they connect the same from the middle. They are different at the end of a word. So here, the kaf, as we saw, we go up, we leave like half a point, then we do the ba. Meanwhile the lam, we stop and it comes from the top and it goes below, just like this. And it's connected to a nun. Meanwhile this is longer with a ba. So lam goes below the line, or below this writing line, kaf stays on the same. And that's the difference between the kaf and the lam. Another thing, at the beginning of a word, sometimes you will find people do this. So this is alif and lam. You could find them connecting these two, or they would start with a lam. It's basically doing this. For example, al-ard. They do connect alif to a lam sometimes. So don't worry about it. Or it comes really sharp in some cases, like this one. So don't worry about seeing alif connected to a lam, though it doesn't connect. So the same thing is for ra and dal, but we will talk about this in other scripts. After the lam, we have the letter meme. Meme, as we saw in ain, it's just a rotation, then we come back. The only difference is that it's longer here. Like the meme has a very long chest, let's say. And when you go down, you don't go down straight, you go down to the right. So this is not straight down, it is going to the right direction. And it is thinner than this. So when you go down, the pen, you have to rotate it a bit. Let's assume that you've finished your meme here with this thickness. If you went down straight to the right, it will be thick. You want to do it this way, you will have to go down, rotate the pen just like this, and then go back down. As you can see, we've got the nice thin shape for it. And this is how you make a meme. It's just the meme that you need to rotate the pen and make it straighter. Meme, when it comes at the beginning, is just, that's the meme by itself, basically, the one we saw there. By itself, as we saw, it's 1 by 1. You give it 3 points, then you give it another 3 points, and this comes pointing to the right. It's a half a point right here, by the way, not a full point. Now, at the start, at the beginning, you just take this part of a meme. Manhala, which means a place that you save bees in. Meem, Noon, Ha, Lam, Ta marbuta. As you can see here, how the meme. Let's see how Muallim is written. Meme. Check out the ain. Lam. Check out the meme here. I hope that we can distinguish now between a meme and ain. They are the same move, but meme is always connected from above. Meanwhile, ain is always connected from below. And at the start of a word, ain is different. Ilm or alam. So it is easy to distinguish between the two letters, but you need to be careful. At the end of a word, as we can see here, or at the middle of a word, you simply just do this connection. So a ba with a meme, we said it takes biman, for example, or yamun. Jim with a meme, we talked about the idea that it changes shape, the ha itself. Dal doesn't connect to a meme. Sin and a meme, this is the only thing that you need to keep an eye on, is the change of the nabira here. Meanwhile, the other sin basically connects like this. Now, when you have a straight line like this one, you should give yourself a small nudge downward. So this is the end of the sin. You basically do this like a hat move. We will talk about this later. Then you start down here with your meme. You basically give yourself some room right here. You go down, you don't just stop and come back. This small nudge downward does make a huge difference in writing. Dad and Sad and Ta and Ra, you can connect those by yourself because it's the same rule. If you have a nabira, it will change into this. If you don't have a nabira, you just connect it like this, but it's always connected from above. Let's now talk about the Noon. Noon has several shapes. When it comes by itself, we saw that it's basically 1, 1, and we've got 2 in the middle. So 1, 1, and this is how it looks like, the Noon by itself. There's another shape that is basically smaller, 2 by 2. To do this shape, you go down, then you go left, then you go curve up to the left. It's very small, it's cute. You could use it with inna. And this is the dot, by the way, for the Noon. But yeah, we only use it when it's disconnected. When it connects in the middle at the beginning, we know that it looks like a normal nabira, just like a ba or a ta. When it comes at the end, there's a special case, shape, which is, for example, this is a meme. There's this shape. It's like the dad shape. The difference between the dad and this shape is that the dad, you go up, down, up, and left. This one is basically sharp line, then. So here we have two curves like this. Meanwhile, here we have a smoother curve, and this one is smaller. This again, it's the dot for the Noon. So we could easily man minkum أحضر الطعام, for example. I'll use for this one. If it was the normal one, if you want to use the normal one, you could easily do man like this, or min. You stop and then you come back, just like a bod. You can use either of them. So this was a relatively shorter lesson than the other ones. We talked about a few letters in this one. They are easier than the ones before, to be fair, because by now we expect that we know the majority of these letters and the majority of these connections. We started with the kaf. To recap, we learned how it looks like by itself. It consists of an alif, ba, a dal with this connection here. At the beginning we also talked about the other shape, that's basically alif, ba, and how to write this hamza. At the start of a word, it's a lamb but with a hat. We talked about how it looks like inside a word, and the special case for when it comes connected to a lam, alif, for example, or a kaf. any word that goes upward, and let's say that goes upward, that follows it. After that, we discussed the difference between kaf and lam and how they connect, especially at the end of a word. Also, we talked about the possibility of a connection between alif and lam. Now this also we will find in other scripts, such as the thuluth. In thuluth we have the same connection like this one. So some calligraphers, you will have the alif and the lam, and then they will add the alif right here connected to it. So we will look into it when we go into the thuluth script. Anyway, so after this we talked about the meem and how it looks like, and a note that we need to focus on is this one. We have to make sure that we realize that this is thin. Just a quick reminder for the kaf, you see how it connects. We don't do the thick line, we basically do the thin line, as you can see here. Let's see what we've got here. We talked about the meem at the beginning of a word and the difference between the meem and the ain. That's very important. Also how it connects. Reminder for the shape of the heart. This is very important. You could use this to help you with the meem or the heart to just add some distance down here. Finally, we talked about the noon and the several shapes of it, and we had a small sentence here if you want to practice it. You could now, you have the ability to write majority of sentences now, since you've reached to the noon letter, because next video we'll talk about the ha, waw, ya and the lam alif. But you might think that those are easier. They are easier, but the ha is a bit longer. It has lots of shapes and we need to talk about it. So you've got the majority of letters now and you can start practicing it. Keep in mind that it takes you months to perfect a script, so don't rush it up. The Ruqa'a scripts is easy, it's not the hardest, it's the easiest, but at the same time you need to be careful, and to perfect your letters, give yourself 3 months for the script. Each month you could watch a video and just practice it. This was all of it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free, if you want to share your homework with me, I could give you advices about it. Just let me know if you want to share your homework. Hope you enjoyed this video and catch you in the next one. Goodbye.